Hey guys, welcome to Judge Jodi Paxton Road's Premier League Player Ratings show. I am back this week with the one and only Sean Hurl, talking all things Manchester City. Sean, how are you, buddy?
In a very good place indeed, Judge. Very
Yeah.
good place indeed.
Always a happy Monday when Spurs win.
Of course.
What's going on? How are you feeling? Just happy? Just excited for
Yeah,
the rest of the
I
season
mean,
or
we're I'm optimistic that we'll have a go for the rest of the season.
Mhm.
I do feel when we look back on this season, we need to think about some of the things that we've had to deal with this season. The truncated season because of a World Cup, the
Yeah.
injuries that's cut through us in autumn.
Yeah.
The fact that our
Conte.
coach lost three of his closest friends in football.
Yeah.
Um,
And now
you
he's
know,
suffering with
things.
his
If
own
things could go
medical.
wrong,
Yep.
they've gone
Yep.
wrong for Tottenham Hotspur this season. But
Yeah.
today's
Yeah.
a bright, sunny day.
It is a bright sunny day. And what were your thoughts about? I think you were on the reaction show yesterday, so we don't want to delve into it too much. But in terms of just overall thoughts on the match, I think it's pretty obvious. We're all very happy after yesterday's performance. But anything that kind of stood out for you before we get into the ratings at all? Anything in particular?
Just a very good performance. A thoroughly deserved 3 points, built on defence, no doubt about it. You
Hmm.
you have to do that against Manchester City. I think I said yesterday in the reaction that Stellini had said that to win against the big beast Manchester City, you
Yeah.
have to be perfect in both boxes. And I think certainly we defended our goal well and we took our chance.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, definitely. I think one of the best games of the season for me. I mean, obviously we started out really well in the first part of the season, but I think we were quite lucky in some of those games. I think for yesterday's the actual performance itself, pretty much everybody, I think showed up yesterday. I think we could
Hmm.
all say it looked like we were there to win. We had an agenda for the day. There was a purpose for us being there. And I think the guys really played for Conte yesterday as well. I think they really showed up, and I don't know if they've been listening to us here at Paxton Road, saying, "Guys, you need to like actually show that you want to be performing and be there on the day." But they actually showed up, and I was very happy with that. So yeah, no errors as well from the defense, which is always a good day. It's always a good day. um, right, I think we're going to get into the ratings, Sean. But guys, if you want to join Sean and I in the ratings, can you please put your ratings in the chat, and we'll get through them as we go through. And please, if you are new, subscribe to Paxton Road TV, and please like the channel as well, like the show. We really appreciate everything that you guys do. And yeah, it really helps us out, all of that stuff. So thank you in advance. Sean, shall we get into it?
Let's go. I think we're going to have a
Let's
good
go.
time tonight.
Yeah, I think it's not going to be a depressing day like it has been in recent times. And I think we're quite similar as well. You'll see. We're very similar in our thinking today. So right, what are we saying? Hugo Lloris, 7 and a 7. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Hugo before
I
I
mean,
get into it?
lots of pre-match there was worries about Hugo, but I think he coped with everything that was thrown at him. He made one good save from Rodri in the first half.
Yeah, not much to do
Um,
really, is it? Was
not,
there?
I mean, to be fair, he did what he had to do. It would have been a travesty if that penalty had been given towards the end
Yeah.
of the game. I mean, because
Yeah,
he
yeah, yeah.
clearly dealt with the thing, and there was no intention to affect him. So no, it was a very competent performance, given that he didn't have a lot to do,
Yeah.
and he was well shielded. But I think for me,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was the collective three in front of him who
Yeah.
did such a good job.
Yeah. I think his distribution was better as well yesterday. There was that ball up to Son, I think, in the second half, which could have meant a second goal for us, but
Hmm.
obviously didn't happen. But yeah, no, I agree with everything you say. I think much better day for Hugo. I think we're always a bit we've mentioned it many times before. We don't know what Hugo we're going to get on the day, but he showed up. And I think it was really important, to have him there as a captain with, again, with Conte not being there, and just having somebody to kind of rely on for the guys to kind of, have that kind of captain side as well. So yeah, 7 from my side. Jews, welcome to the show, my friend. As always, what are you saying? Easy show today. Yeah, Hugo 6 didn't have much to do. Yeah, I agree with you. Not much to do at all, which is, I mean, it's 5 saves there. To be honest with you, I don't really remember 5. He had 5 saves to make, but that's what it was. They were very easy saves, I think, that he had to make. So yeah. All right, let's move to Cristian Romero. Oh dear, Sean. I had to match you in that 5 there. I think it wasn't the best. I mean, Romero is going to be Romero, right? Like the things we love about him are the things that can ultimately turn the game around for him. And I think we could probably see what was going to happen in that game. I think there were a few comments about potentially a red card on the horizon for him yesterday, just because of the way that he was kind of acting so rogue throughout that game yesterday. I think his overall performance was good, but I had to knock him down a couple of marks just based on that red, and I think that's probably where you're coming from as well. I just think it's inexcusable, and we've got the Leicester game coming up, and he's going to have to miss that now. So yeah, I think from my perspective, the game was pretty good, but it's just that recklessness I think that cost him.
Yeah, for me, it's I know I understand why he likes to put a mark on the player he's marking, and but that challenge on Haaland, the first one, was so unnecessary, so unnecessary. I mean, he takes a chance with that, and but the thing is, it was not a breakaway. It was not like a tactical foul anyway, by any stretch of the imagination. And he just, he just kind of, he puts himself on a tightrope so early in the game. He did it against Arsenal. In fact, he could have probably been sent off against Arsenal, but he was much more in control. You compare him to, say, Bentancur, who was also booked early, harshly in my view, but he controlled it, and yeah, I mean, I actually started doing the markings, confession time here, Judge, that about 85 minutes gone, and he was much higher mark, and then
Yeah,
I literally put his number against his name, and he gets a red card,
Yeah, me too. I think I had to knock 2 off him, honestly. Like maybe it was 3. I mean, I think he was up there with I won't get into it because we're getting there, but the rest of the defense, in my perspective. But it's
I
just
mean, he had done a perfect job. The 3 central defend, the
they all
back
did
3
amazing,
had
right?
done a brilliant job,
Yeah.
and he just lets himself down sometimes, Luckily, it was late on in the game, and City seemed to have run out of ideas in that second half. To be fair,
I think
if anyone was going to score, we were going to score in the second half, I thought.
Yeah, definitely. But I think Dino Dinosaur, welcome, buddy, says it perfectly here. Romero plays for Romero, and I think that's very true because he's an amazing player. We can't deny how much of a world class player he is, and I feel we're so lucky to have him. But he does play for himself. I think that he is still learning. I don't think he has leadership in himself. I think he plays for himself. That's so true, and he doesn't have that kind of he doesn't think about other players or kind of the team as such. I think he just plays for himself and he just makes those reckless kind of moves, which are great when they pay off, but sometimes they do cost us. So yeah,
I really recommend today's View from the Lane, the Athletic podcast on Tottenham Hotspur, because they talk about Romero, and probably after listening to that, I was being a little bit unnecessarily harsh, but we haven't beaten any teams in the top 6 this season so far until yesterday, and it did put that there was a chance that we could have conceded with a free kick, from the free kick or whatever. So I was a bit disappointed, but yeah, listen to that podcast, and you'll maybe take a slightly more sympathetic view on him. I love Romero. I love his passion.
Yeah. Oh,
But
yeah. It's the things, like I say, it's the things we love about him that sometimes
Mm.
cost us. But all right, let's move. Let's move to Eric Dier. 8th all round, Sean. And it's probably what we would have given Romero, right? If he hadn't cost us with that red. But
Exactly. I mean, Eric Dier put in the best performance he's done
probably
since
since last
towards
year, the back end of last
well,
year,
I
right?
think early in the season he was playing quite well. But as soon as he got into the England squad, he seemed to
Yeah, his
fall away.
concentration sort of, yeah.
But since that, certainly pre-call up, this is the best performance for Eric Dier, and on a par with some of the performance he put in last spring, which got us into the top 4. So hats off to him. He's stepped up. He's obviously lost one of his mates this week after the transfer window. Him and Harry. So yeah, well done, Eric Dier. Hats off to you, mate, and more of these types of performances, because you just absolutely nullified Haaland and Alvarez.
Yeah.
So
Massively fending off Haaland, I think. Like a massive game, I think, like you said, like a massive game for him. No unforced Dier errors that we tend to see, which was like an extra point probably for that from my perspective. Defending.
And he had a blocking role in the lead up to the goal as well. He went
Yeah. That's what I was
with
going to
his defense,
say.
right into
He
the
was.
opposition. There's obviously something Stellini and them had been working on in the week.
He was
And
he was helping out the midfield really well. Like he
yeah,
was kind of getting
he
forward,
was playing
wasn't
like
he?
an extra midfielder, and
Yeah.
sometimes the two can get overrun, particularly with you've got a midfielder Man City can field. So yeah, hats off to
And
Eric
that's
Dier. Well done, mate.
Yeah, it's definitely, and that's why I put that stat up of shots on target. So he had 3 shots because he was getting up there. So it was 0 on target, but yeah, he was definitely helping to drive us forward. And good job, Eric. Lloyd, you didn't see the game. Oh, mate. I mean, you missed a pretty good one, to be honest. Maybe you have
On
to go watch
Spurs
that back,
play now.
I'm not going to lie. It was probably my favorite game of the season to date. But yeah, Yassin Mohammed, welcome. Congratulations on the win against City and Harry Kane to 67 goals. Yeah.
Thank you, Yasin.
Thank you. We've got
Your team
Liverpool.
having a tough time.
Yeah, they are. We've got Liverpool. We've got Manchester United with Alistair Chanakira in the house. Thank you for being here, buddy. We've got a whole host of Premier League teams in tonight. Thank you guys for joining us. All right, let us move on to Ben Davies, 8 and an 8.
Again,
yeah.
Part of that screen that kept, Alvarez at bay, kept, did his part in, and he carried the ball forward in the first half, particularly, I seem to remember. Very good, very, very good performance by Ben. So dependable, and yeah, well done, mate. You really justified your inclusion.
100%. That's what I wrote down my notes there, Sean. Dependable Ben. Back at it again. I think he was massive in not letting anything past him. It's like the same as Dier and Romero. He looked really confident. I don't think he let the City guys phase him at all. Like a really great day again. There's not really too much more to say about him, other than no unforced errors, nothing like that. The defense really held their own, and they're deserving some high scores, I think, from yesterday's game. So,
yep,
well done.
Can't complain. Ben was excellent.
Oh, Sean! Flying through the players tonight. Emerson Royal. What are we saying? Oh boy!
What can I say?
Man. This guy.
What can I say? Hats off to probably the most maligned player on our squad. He was excellent. The memes that followed after the way he
right?
competed with Jack Grealish, and Jack Grealish will not have many harder days at the office than he did yesterday. No, well done, Emerson Royal. I
Well
love
done.
the
And I'm going to
tweet
actually
by
give you a round of applause, Emerson.
yeah. I love the tweet from Jamie Weir of Sky where he sort of said the Spurs signed Pedro Porro, and then it's got Emerson Royal going, and I took that not very well. It's brilliant. It's a really good tweet if you can see it. Jamie Weir's a Spurs fan, works for Sky Sports News, but yeah, fantastic.
Amazing performance.
Amazing performance defensively, was absolutely spot on.
Yeah. And
he got forward and he stretched them. Obviously the final ball was still missing, but he did what he was there to do, which was keep Jack Grealish out of our box and creating any trouble.
And I think there were a few Spurs fans who weren't happy to see Porro start. Were you surprised to not see him? Because personally, I actually expected Emerson to start, even though I wanted to see Porro. I just thought because of who we were playing, I thought we were going to go a bit defensive minded, and I thought Emerson was going to start for us. And also the fact that Conte hasn't had a chance to train with Porro either. So from my perspective, it wasn't a surprise, and I was actually quite, sad to not see Porro, but happy to see Emerson start. I don't know what you thought.
Yeah, it was. I don't think it was that too much of a surprise. Yeah. Conte usually likes the players to have a week to sort of acclimatise and what have you. And I think that it wasn't a surprise that Emma started. He justified his inclusion. He was incredible. And, I'm pleased that we've got two slightly different players to play on that right-hand side now. Obviously, if Emerson's going to turn in performances like that, and maybe he just needed the competition, he'll get his share of games as the season goes on. Definitely.
I'm back.
Oh, you froze there for a minute.
We're having some issues, technical issues here. Have you got me?
I've got you, yeah. We've lost the background, though.
There we go.
Right.
No, I definitely agree with everything you say. And then I think with Juice Nuts is saying, Emerson's blown your mind for the last 3 games. I agree. Like, I think from my point, I think the Fulham game, I think I gave him man of the match in that one from my perspective. And I think probably, but you're probably right, the last 3 that he's played. And I don't know, if that is a Porro coming in thing, we can have our own thoughts on what that is. But yeah, I do think there's some quality issues still, definitely, with Emerson. But I think, the guy, you can't like, the guy he gives it his all every single game, whether we like it or not, whether he's making errors or not. He does work really hard, and he does want to show up. So hey, I'm all for it, Emerson. Let's bring it on. Yasin, what you saying? 9 out of 10. Yeah. Lloyd, yeah, you did. You got to go back and watch that game just for Emerson, just to see what happened in that game. You got to go back and watch that because, yeah, it was a good one. Lee agreeing, 1000%. What you saying? Yes, and if Spurs finish 3rd on the league, Emerson Royal deserve a new contract. Ellington, welcome, my friend. No worries. Don't need to apologize. 9 for you, man of the match. Had Grealish in his pocket. Yeah, definitely.
It was a good tussle between them, I have to admit. Grealish gave as much as he got given, and it was I think, it was just in the end, Royal was determined that he was not going to get past him, or
Yeah.
And if he did get past him, he was going to tumble,
Yeah, I think Emerson spent a lot of time on the ground yesterday, just because it was a lot of fighting going on there. But Royal is learning the right wing back role. Yeah, and again, and I've said this before, like, this isn't his natural position, so He's doing good. Dino Dinosaur Royal cannot cross. No, he cannot. So he should drive into the box and cause mayhem. And then when he ended up on the left hand side as well,
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
that was quite something. I was like, what's going on here? Is Emerson giving it a try up on the left? But it's to do
Well,
with the
I don't know what his pass rate was like yesterday, but I'm sure it's quite high. I can't remember him giving away too many passes. Even
no, not
if
like
anything, he was sold
somebody.
short by Kulu on a couple of occasions. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and Juice Nuts, this is one I forgot to mention as well. This pass to Kane as well. That great cross up to Kane, who he did. He fluffed it.
hold on.
I think he did. But yeah, great game, Emerson. 9s all round from us, and keep it up, buddy.
Live long and prosper.
Right, let's go on to the left then. Ivan Perisic, a 6 and a 6. Again, I think this is what I said last time, but I was blinded by the right. I think he did what he needed to do, and like as always, the cliche thing we say about Perisic is his crosses are what make him, and like I think you can always trust him to show up, especially in an attacking way. I think defensively, he's not as good as he can be. I think he's probably a bit slow, but definitely not as good from my side, my perspective. Sorry, as the right-hand side on yesterday's game. But what are you saying?
Slight bit of pushback on that, maybe, Jodi. I thought he's come in for a lot of criticism for his defensive work, and certainly I heard, I didn't see the City game at their place, but he was at fault, I think, for a couple of.
Yeah.
But I thought yesterday was probably his best defensive performance.
Yeah.
In terms of he smothered the their right wing. Again, he's a couple of feet from creating a goal for Kane in the second half.
Yep.
He has got it in him. It's just he's certainly our best left wing back at the moment. I'm sorry to say, Ryan has just not convinced me. But it was he gets a 6, which is when I send you my marks, I say that's acceptable. He can take his wages. But it's when you go 5 and below that I think, So he's done his job. What could we he beat the champions. Comfortably, really. Although the score doesn't suggest that, we beat them. He
Comfortably
he played
yesterday.
a part. Yeah, I think so.
Do you think City showed up much? Just like I don't know, like they weren't
the
themselves.
First 15 minutes they were in control. We kind of scored against the run of the play, and it just seemed to take their, it just blew them apart. And Harlan was making all these great runs. They kept making that point in commentary, but no one was looking up to pass to him. And in the end, he was like, he had his petted lip out, didn't he? At the end, he was looking really peed off, and good, because there's more to football than scoring goals.
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's what we want as fans, to see the goals, isn't it? But if you have a 90-minute game of football, there is definitely a lot more to the game. So, all right, let's move to Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, an 8 and an 8.5. I think, talking about hard workers, from my perspective, this guy totally put a shift in, I think, yesterday, as he always does. I think he did well to set up that first goal, definitely, got the assist. And no, you're shaking your head.
No. I'm actually agreeing with you, although it looks like it's in the negative.
No, but yeah, I think, I'm not worried when we've got Højbjerg. We've always got Højbjerg in the middle, but I'm not worried when he's there. I think he's just a boss in that midfield. I think when he went down, I was a little bit worried, but he's never, when was the last time this guy was injured? He was off a couple of seasons ago now, I think, with something, but he hasn't been out injured in a very long time, and he always pushes on, doesn't he? So
What I
yeah,
would say about Pierre yesterday was that was his best performance post World Cup.
yeah, definitely.
I think to be fair, he's been in a bit of a funk since coming back from Qatar. Whether that was because of the underwhelming campaign by his countrymen, because they were locked out in the group stage. I felt he was under a bit of a cloud, but yesterday he was absolutely brilliant, and no one can take away how difficult that pass was to make the goal. He was falling. He was, I don't know whether he'd been. I mean, some people were saying that maybe there was a penalty on there, but it was a deliberate pass. It wasn't, it was done with technique, and Harry just dispatched it. And I mean, without that, who knows? But I thought, Pierre was back to his very best. And I think sometimes you only really see that when you're in the stadium. I wasn't in the stadium yesterday, but he was absolutely brilliant yesterday.
Yeah,
absolutely
definitely.
brilliant.
Yeah, definitely. I think we have missed his. He's back to yesterday's game showed us who he truly is, and
I mean, before the World Cup, he was absolutely excellent. I mean, every time I've been in the stadium, you see the amount of work he does off the ball.
Yeah, I agree.
Which you don't really get an appreciation on TV.
Yeah.
And he's tidying up. He's driving
He's
players
doing
on.
all
He's
hard work.
Yeah.
He's doing all the work. Any manager would love this guy, or what does love this guy, because
he could easily be the captain. He could easily be the captain of the team.
Does the dirty work for the team that nobody else wants to do. Cleans up.
He's someone described him today as the bin man.
Yeah,
that's all that.
Sorry,
and you
Pierre,
need those types of players.
Yeah, you do. No, I agree. Well done, Pierre. I think everybody's agreeing with us here. Jews, what are you saying here? Have you noticed throughout the game when Højbjerg gets up from the ground, he gets up gingerly? Yes, I have noticed that actually. He doesn't want to show that he's injured, I don't think. Or he's a very tough guy.
But is that a bit of what might be known as S-housery? That he's eating up valuable time, by making it look like he's injured when he really isn't injured.
Well, that's a fair point as well, isn't it?
It's like it's fine margins, isn't it? It's fine margins. I don't mind us, doing the dark arts. Even Romero.
Oh, we need more of that, honestly.
Yeah,
Everyone else does it. All the other teams.
Oh God,
do it.
yeah. Man City were all in that referee's ear yesterday. Who wasn't very good, to be fair. But anyway, that's another story.
Saying he seems knackered. Yeah, that's probably a more likely story. I think this guy just gets run ragged, I think, Højbjerg. So, but yeah. Right, let us move to Rodrigo Bentancur, 7 and a 7. I think his passing was lacking, wasn't it, yesterday? But I do think that he had that midfield on lock. I think you can always depend on him. Like, he's one of the probably 4 or 5 players that we have to kind of constantly depend on. And we always shine when he's there, from my perspective. I think he picked up that yellow, but it didn't let it phase him. And I think it was another really great performance from Bentancur. I think probably not as polished as other weeks that he's been playing, but yeah, I think he deserves a 7 from that performance. What do you think?
Yeah, to me, I mean, I love Bentancur. He's my favourite player. He's just a class act. Yeah, it's class act. I've never taken to a player so much as him in recent years, but he's. I noticed he was getting some abuse amongst on our WhatsApp group, and I just couldn't understand it.
Oh yeah, I noticed that as well. Yeah, I didn't.
And you go, hold on, this man, although he might not be passing and he might not be creating, he covered every blade of grass yesterday. At 93 minutes, who is leading the press to keep Man City back up there? It's Rodrigo Bentancur.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it was a bit unwarranted. The the lack of observing of what he was doing yesterday from what I thought as well. But yeah, no, this guy's amazing for us. Like I think we've like you saw what we were like without him. The weeks that we didn't have him available, and it's just a completely different performance, I think, without him. So yeah, I agree, Sean. Lloyd, what are you saying? I love Pep's excuse for losing. London is a long way from Manchester, and they were tired. Is that really what he said? Oh man, I didn't see that. Did you say that, Sean? Did you see that?
I did say
Sounds
something.
like
I don't know
something
whether
Pep would say.
that might be one interpretation of it. I think he was quite generous to us. Actually, he said that what a good squad we are and what a good team we are. And I did like the fact that he said, "I'm not going to call them the Harry Kane team because Pochettino still hasn't forgiven me," or something along
Did he say
that
that?
line.
I
Yeah,
missed all of that.
yeah. I saw his post match
Okay.
conference. I don't, to me, he's not like Klopp, who just is just a sour loser, really sour loser.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean, I've always got time for Pep. He's got interesting things to say. I was talking to a friend before I came on here, and I was saying how he's an incredible player, manager, but sometimes he makes some really strange decisions. My friend was saying, why was Kevin De Bruyne on the bench?
Yeah,
That's a
that was
strange
really
thing.
weird.
And then we talked about how he changed his formation for that Champions League final against Chelsea, and lost the game because of it. It was madness. He sometimes overthinks. And
But didn't he come out and say recently that he's basically said that Arsenal are going to win the league, so what's the point now? Something along those lines. I don't know. I think maybe it was he was brushing it under the carpet kind of sweeping statement to make, but I don't know.
Well, that's a bit odd. I thought he was about hoovering up titles. I mean, I know they're probably the Champions League is the most important thing to him at the moment, but yeah, I don't know. I saw an interview with with Rio Ferdinand, and he sort of said that you can't continue to win prizes with the same players. You have to change it up all the time. Even if it's just for 1 year, you get a player in for 1 year and hope that he is the difference. So
yeah,
I would imagine
depending on what happens with City next season, we probably will see quite an influx of new players, I'd say, in that squad. Depending on what happens with them.
Yeah, I mean, they're facing a bit of trouble.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't want to go into that. It's too much detail.
I understand that he's said. I understand that he said that if he thinks the ownership have been straight with him, but he says if it's crooked, he said he'll be off. And I can imagine he would do that. He's that kind of person.
I mean, do you think maybe that could be also another reason why City didn't turn up as much as they usually do yesterday? I don't know.
I don't know. They just seem to have a problem at our stadium.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not complaining.
I'm not complaining. No.
Complaining. Lloyd, what he's saying, he says it takes 4 hours to get the Spurs. Was that? That's 4 hours. What by coach, or do they not fly to London from City?
Well, maybe it was Green Football Weekend. Maybe they decided to travel by coach as it was less.
Maybe.
I don't know. They should have taken the train. If they could have got one.
There's too many strikes going on at the moment, Sean. Not going to get a train. Ellington, Benty 8 from you. He's the main cog in the midfield. Yeah, your favorite player too. Oh, there's no bias in this courtroom, guys. Seriously.
He's the reason we're playing on Wednesdays this season.
He is the reason.
As the song goes.
Yeah, it's a good one. All right, let's go to Decky, guys. We've got Sean. We're not matching up. We're not matching up. maybe there's a bit of rose tinted glasses going on with my rating today. Yeah.
Do you know what? In his defense, he did an awful lot of useful work, which was defensively useful. carrying the ball, terrorising that young left back.
Yeah.
But in terms of end product,
Actual product, yeah.
I didn't really see that much from him. I mean, he contributed. I'm 6
He
as I
moved
say.
around a lot.
Yeah, 6 is the sort of base mark I expect of any Spurs player. So he gets that, but I just don't think he was
I think
dynamic or.
so. I was
You
going to say,
know,
I think David might be right with the 7, maybe in between what you're saying and what
maybe
I'm saying.
David's right on lots of things.
David knows what's
He's
up,
also
guys. David
terribly
knows
wrong
what's
on
up.
things, but we're allowed to at our age.
He's Mr. Positive, right? So that's all that matters. I might agree with you on that one, David. I don't know, 8 might be a little bit too high. I do really like watching him play. I think his movements and his technique is just like amazing. Like I think he's doing it. He's doing a job of kind of defending Lewis and those guys. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying, Sean. Maybe it was a lot of kind of show and not much kind of end product.
Lots
So
of show,
maybe,
no pony.
yeah, maybe I'm being a little bit too kind to you there, Decky. But yeah, maybe a 7. I think. David, we have Leicester this weekend. What do you think? 4-3 Spurs. Choose not to stay in the doghouse with his family. Oh no, what have you done, Dave? What have you done?
Oh, David, reach
Oh dear.
out for
Oh
therapy.
dear. Don't be in the doghouse, guys. 7, yeah, that's what you said. Ellington, I can't. That emoji, whatever that is not working on these comments. Sorry. David, you're right there. Yeah. Kulu, yeah. Ellington, you're agreeing with Sean. 6. Not seeing his effectiveness in the final. Hope he improves. Yeah, might be a little bit of.
He made a great goal for Dan Juma at Preston in front of me last week. So
he did. I mean, we can't deny that Kulusevski is, the world is a much better place with him in it, and our squad is a much better place with him in it. So, I think again, same with Bentancur for me. Like we play so much better when we have him in the squad, even if he's not actually creating things for us. Maybe we play better for having him in the team as well. Potentially, I don't know, but we seem to always shine. I think when he plays, whether or not he's contributing to things or not, I think we tend to kind of shine when he starts for us. So, can only be a good thing. Okay, let us go to Son. Oh, 7 and a 6, Sean. We're starting to see some differences today. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know with Son. I feel like his decision making wasn't there yesterday. Personally, I think on the eye, I think it looked good. I think he looked more confident. I think he was a lot more sprightly for us. I have seen other people giving him quite high marks when I've sort of watched shows and things over the past day or so. But I just think that he could have done better with his decision making yesterday. And I actually think that, if we'd have lost the game yesterday, would people's marks for Son be lower than they are? I don't know. Open question. Discuss.
Yeah, to be honest, I think this has been that again, like a lot of players, best performance in a long, long while. And not because necessarily his attacking prowess, which is what we really want him for, but I thought he did a shift defensively yesterday. I saw him, back sort of, left in front of the the screening 3, if you like, and I thought he did a really good job in defence, and that's why my mark is probably higher than yours, because I thought, although he nearly created for Kane in the second half. He maybe took a shot when the pass was on as well, but no, I thought he did a lot of contribution. It was his best performance in a long, long while. But maybe I suppose he set himself such high standards that we're being a bit cruel. I think 7 was justified in the 7 because he helped out at the front and the back. So and probably more at the back than at the front. And, sometimes you've got to do that. If you play a 3-4-3, you've got to be part of the defence as well.
Yeah, and I think we do give Son a lot of stick sometimes for his defensive ability. I think a lot of, because it's not naturally, that's not who he is. It's not what he does, and a lot of times people do call him out for not helping out defensively. So, yeah, that's fair. I think that's a fair call to make from yesterday, and I think the style of play definitely suits Son, like the City style of play. Bouncing off the kind of counter-attack style is Son through and through. But I just feel like maybe he just wasn't up to it sort of in an offensive way yesterday. Yeah, I don't know. Ellington, Son, did he start? Yeah, maybe we're thinking the same things here. David, 6.5 for you. At least his legs are moving. Yeah. They were. Ben Spurs, welcome, buddy. I thought Son's best movements were in the first 10 minutes. He worked hard and helped Perisic all game, but he didn't do much else. Yeah, I don't know. I'm with you guys. A couple of times I thought Son kept the ball rather than passing it. That would have led to great situations. Decision making, I think, from my perspective, Paul. I think maybe that's sort of where you're coming from. Just was a bit lacking for me. At least I was trying, but there again, my mother used to call me. Oh, David!
He's washing his family laundry in public here. Dear, David.
David, you are hilarious.
Happy birthday to your good lady wife at the weekend as well.
Oh, happy birthday to David's wife. If she's watching, I hope you had a beautiful day, and I hope David bought you some lovely flowers or something to celebrate. But yeah, happy birthday, and I hope you had an amazing day from all of us at Paxton Road. All right, Sean, let's go to the man of the match, Mr. Harry Kane. Oh, that's not working. Mr. 267. Yeah, 10. That might be a little bit extreme. Sean, a 10?
Do you know what? That is 14 years worth of what a contribution. That man has saved us £150 million, which is what we would have to pay.
Fair.
To replace him. He was incredible. He did things defensively. He did things midfield. He scored the winning goal. He's a record goal scorer. He's taken over from Jimmy Greaves, who I never thought would be beaten. He is just a diamond.
Amazing.
And he just did everything perfectly. And my man in the match.
Harry Kane. Harry Kane. Yeah, I agree. Maybe not. I mean, a 10 for the actual.
Oh, come on! You've got to acknowledge 267 goals. Come on!
Right, I'll give him 100 then. Shall I give him 100? I don't know. I think, the guy's amazing. What more can I say? Just an incredible achievement. That's a lot of goals. 267 goals. Does you actually understand how many goals that is? That is a lot of freaking goals, guys. I think, he's amazing. We would be lost without him. Harry, we love you. We want you to stay. But I think, as well, just what separates him from other strikers and, is his ability to drop deep and help the team as well. Like yesterday, again, was another classic example of it. You kind of compare him to Haaland, and Haaland just stands there on the edge of the box waiting for goals to come to him, whereas Harry just sets the whole team up, and he's amazing. We are so blessed to have him, and I really hope we can get a trophy with him in the team, because it's just he's Spurs through and through, right?
An FA Cup at the end of this season will be like a league championship to Harry Kane.
Yeah.
He's doing it with the club that he's been with since he was 11 years old. He's He's earned every single one of those goals. He's worked his socks off. He's a model professional in a period when, I mean, if you compare him to Jack Grealish is more likely to appear up on the front pages of a newspaper than the back pages. Harry Kane, not a whiff of scandal. He's not one of these tattooed sort of playboys. You know, just a perfect individual. And
amazing role model as well, right?
Raising model. You know, I mean, look at the work he's did with the foundation. He's, you know, I mean, he couldn't do any more. You know, and you know, it's in the end, it's down to Levy for not building a team around him.
1000%, yeah.
You know, he can't single-handedly bring you trophies if his teammates are not up to it.
No, agree. But Harry, from all of us here at Paxton Road, thank you for your service and congratulations. You're amazing. We love you. We want you to stay forever. I know that won't happen, but yeah, just congratulations. Amazing achievement. And nobody, like 267, like I said, that's a lot of goals. Like, I don't even know. I don't even know where to start with
25 goals per season.
Yeah. Incredible achievement. We are so proud of you, and thank you.
And just 30, so he's got years left to go as well.
You're still young. Harry. You've got plenty of time. And Paul Russell, thank you for being here, my friend. Just saying that Harry enjoys playing Leicester. Yeah. Well, let's hope for another Son hat trick maybe against Leicester, and a Harry hat trick. We could have 6 goals in that game just from the two of them. Maybe let's see what happens.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Wouldn't be. All right, guys, we are going to go to Crime of the Week. It's Crime of the Week time. Everybody's excited.
Jodi the judge is in a very good mood. She's singing and everything. My God. I couldn't even think of a Crime of the Week this week, to be fair.
Oh, well, we've got a couple, Sean.
All right, okay. Let's discuss them.
So what do we have? Well, it does revolve around the transfer window week, which was last week. So Crime of the Week, we have Pedro Porro. The announcement coming 10 minutes before deadline time, which meant that, you know, the 11 p.m. cutoff for transfers, everybody was sitting there waiting. I stayed up even later than I usually do. I don't stay up much past 10 p.m. really, most weeknights, and I was waiting and it was not coming. Finally got announced, I think 10 to 11 on Tuesday evening, which also meant that there was no room for any more signings. So no centre backs, no defence upgrades. I'm not saying the Crime of the Week was Pedro Porro, because we're all very excited and happy that he's here, but I think it was just the timing. Waiting to the 11th hour, as always, to make that announcement. And the next crime,
Is that a judgment on the transfer window as a whole?
That's a judgment on the timing and the transfer window, really, yeah.
Okay.
And then the next one was the actual announcement. Did you watch it? Did you see it? Some people loved it. Some people hated it. But I think it was there's a few nominations there for this announcement from Pedro, because some people found it quite cringy.
What I thought was funny was that when he put the mask on, he said Batman, not Zorro, which is obviously what it was influenced by. So I must admit that was pretty cringy.
It's pretty cringy, right?
I do feel, God, I think that the business that we've done, I mean, the 2 players we've picked up in the transfer window are good additions. Yeah. We certainly look like we've got depth in the squad when you look at our bench there yesterday. But I do feel that we are short, and we always seem to be 1 or 2 players short.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. I mean, I do believe, to be fair, Sporting were playing silly buggers. So at least Levy stepped in and got the mask over got got the master, got the man over the line, got the deal over the line. Obviously, we've got a bit of an issue with our sporting director facing a blanket ban from football, which is sad because I have to be fair. I think on the whole, he's done a good job at upgrading our team. If you think about last January's window, the players he brought in the summer, who may well become first team players, like Basuma, etc. But I do think, it's difficult. It's difficult. Yeah, I mean,
I think
I'm in the minority. I would have probably thrown in cancelling Matthew Doherty's contract.
I was just about to say. So if we're putting the whole transfer window in itself as a bucket,
you could include that in the transfer window.
There's a few little
business,
segments that come under that, which is number one. I think would be cancelling Matthew Doherty's contract. 2, Spence on loan, maybe from Ellington.
Yeah. Well, at least he's getting game time now.
Yeah, I agree. He was never going to be getting game time with us, let's be honest. So I always thought he was going to go out on loan, personally. Didn't want it personally from myself. I think Spence is a great player, but I just didn't see him starting for us ever when he first came in anyway. So yeah, hopefully, and it looks like he played really well for Rennes over the weekend. So, all good for him, but yeah, Juice Nuts, how long before the Pro Mask are being sold in the club shop? Probably already there.
Well, I suppose it just depends if people turn up on the terraces with them. If they start, if they see that, it's like at Preston last week, there was a guy with a pigeon head and a like a Richarlison flag, So it's
anything to make a buck.
Yeah, anything to turn a coin. Yeah. Yeah, it's
a coin.
Good question there from Paul.
Yeah, would you rest major players against Leicester with AC Milan during next week? Possible game time for Rodrigo Bentancur and you guys. So yeah, I was going to say. So we've got Leicester coming up on Saturday, I think, next week, and then we've got AC Milan Tuesday. So I guess thoughts on those games, and then like Paul's saying, what are we saying in terms of players? Are you going to be resting them from your side, Sean? Or?
Well, when you say major players, are you suggesting that Harry Kane is
probably
rested?
I would assume. You shouldn't assume, but I would assume.
Yeah, I wouldn't rest Harry Kane because he scores against Leicester. If with monotonous regularity.
Or could he come on and score a couple of goals?
I don't know. I'd maybe give Son a rest or.
I just don't think that's happening though. We keep saying that it just doesn't happen.
I like to see Basuma. I thought Basuma had a very good game against Preston. All right, given the opposition, but he looks far more adapted. Who knows? I mean, Conte being ill and in Italy is obviously different. But I do understand that Stellini has been recording the training and sending the video to Conte to watch on his laptop, which I'm sure is helping his recovery really well.
You don't need stress in times of recovery, do you?
Yeah, watching Davies and Sanchez trying to trap the ball, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I think Conte will be back in the middle of the week was the suggestion I got from what Harry Kane was saying in one of the videos today. I don't know. Do you rotate a winning team? A winning team that's got defence? Well, we're going to have to rotate in defence because Romero's not available. So
yeah, we will. But then, who are we playing instead of Romero?
Well,
Tanganga
or Sanchez, I suppose.
I think Sanchez probably.
Or they could bring Longley into the middle and put Dier at right centre back. I don't know. Who says?
Thanks, Lloyd. Yeah, who knows what's going to happen, guys. Stellini looks a far more pragmatic manager and no micromanagement.
Well, I think he made good subs He made good
Yeah.
subs on
I was a bit worried
yesterday.
though, where we got to 70 minutes and there still hadn't been a sub. I was kind of a bit concerned that
No,
hadn't
well,
happened.
maybe he was waiting for that red card, knowing that he'd have to really, really juggle the pack. Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Hopefully they play. We go 3 up and they can take players up. Well, that's what I'm saying, Paul. Don't start Harry.
but
And then
remember, they've just beaten Aston Villa 4-2 at their place, and Aston Villa
that was
wiped the floor with us not that long ago. So it's not a given. I'm sure they'll play the strongest available team.
Yeah, I think so. Because I think, what is it? Saturday, then Tuesday. We're traveling, aren't we? We're traveling to Milan.
We're
So
traveling
we've got
to
to
Milan,
factor
yeah.
in the travel time and that does, people don't, gotta estimate that into
But they'll fly
things.
out Monday night, I'd imagine, and stay overnight, and then
Yeah, maybe we'll switch it up a little bit ahead of Tuesday. I don't know. I'm not the
we'll
coach,
see.
so we will see. Cool. So I think that's going to do it, guys. Thank you so much to everybody we had today. Juice Nuts, as always. You're always here, my friend. Love having you here, my friend. Dinosaur Lloyd. You guys.
Paul Russell.
Paul
David
Russell,
Clark.
David Clark, my friend David. Thank you for all your family updates. Alistair Chanakira and Grace Chanakira, guys. Thank you for being here, my lovely friends. Ellington, as always, love having you here as well.
And it's good to see some input from our Liverpool and Manchester United followers.
Yes, and Mohammed as well. Thank you so much, guys. It's really good to have input from, like Sean says, input from other teams. We really appreciate you guys taking the time out to see what's going on in the Spurs world. So thank you for that. Right, before we go, Sean, a little birdie told me that it was a certain somebody's birthday today. Not yours.
No, not mine, no.
But our very own Sam Spurs for Life. It's his birthday today, guys. So we just Sean and I both wanted to give a shout out, say happy birthday to the one and only. We hope you're having an amazing day. We hope you're celebrating in true Sam style, whatever it is that you're doing. But yeah, thank you for everything you've done for us and the channel, and like happy birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday indeed. He was at the game yesterday, so he would have enjoyed that. So yeah, it's the top man. I mean, my friend that I was speaking to earlier this evening, he says he loves the input that Sam puts into the show. So yeah, the love goes out there even when he doesn't know it. Many happy returns. Another turn round the sun, Sam. See you soon, hopefully.
See you very soon. A big win from Spurs as well. And Harry's goal. Harry's 267 goal for you for your birthday. There you go. I mean, what more could you ask for?
Well, remember what he was expecting at the beginning of the season when he was giving it with his chest.
Oh, he was one of those ones, wasn't he?
He was title Champions League.
I forgot that was this season where people were actually saying that we were going to win the league. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. We will we'll see you next week. And yeah, have a really great week. Stay safe, everybody, and come on, you Spurs.